thing is called cookies, where like if you go to a site and buy something, it'll remember you and then create ads for other stuff you might want to buy.
So it learns information about me? Seems like an invasion of privacy.
Dude, if you think that's bad, go to Google Earth and type in your address.
Unconditional surrender. In the last couple of months, in the Sims 2 community, a golden recipe to stop the pink plug went viral. I was observing it from behind silently, but my recent struggle made me put my sense in. To summarize it, after doing anything in my power to stop the game from flashing, I've decided to actually play on my PC. There comes the problem. I don't have the Ultimate Collection installed there. Yeah, I have the original on my EA app, but you know what? I refuse to install it. It sucks too much. And it would stay there just for the 1 or 2 games. If I decided to use Steam for that, it would still push it upon me, as I've tested it with 4. So I took the Black Flag in, when the only available version is the Legacy. I know there's one way to do it with Ultimate, but I'm not a Sims 2 maniac. It works fine for the Sims release, but there's one issue. Reshade. It's a program. Once I've installed it, I can't live without it. It's not a basic necessity, but my taste buds are the biggest problem preventing me from enjoying this game without it. On Ultimate Collection, it works for me out of the box. I don't have to rename anything actually. The latest version always works. Unlike on Windows, where actually I've had so many issues installing it. When it comes to the Legacy version, I've done most configurations I could think of, and it resulted in Reshade crashing. At least the game loads under 1 minute. This was supposed to be a shitpost and a rant, but then I've got enlightened. Well, I remember there's one more thing to try out, and that's what worked. So if you're forced to use Legacy Edition on Linux, welcome to my channel. Now to the solution. I assume you've installed Linux already. If not, I'm not going to explain it today. I highly recommend to go and read guides about it. My only suggestion in that regard is to be careful if you are using an Nvidia card, and to save you some trouble, look for a distro that's accommodating those. If you don't, anything will do. Just don't install Manjaro unless you prefer not playing the game. If you don't know how to find your game folder, right-click on the Steam version. The easiest way to install a Reshade is to go to this page linked in the description. On the website you get a ready script that will do most of the job for you. Distro choice is unimportant here. It's gonna work for every single one, unless there's something I don't know. Now I'm entering a terminal in a separate window. I personally use Alacrity. You can have Console, Kitty, or whatever you want to. I'm aware that most of the potential viewers are not familiar with it, but trust me, it's not that complicated. As long as you stay away from unknown comments, don't try removing the French language. At the terminal, the first comment I recommend doing is cd location you want your script to be downloaded in. I have a separate folder for it, so that's how I do that. Now you can do the first 2 comments, one by one. To paste a thing into a terminal, you have to press Ctrl, Shift and V. If you closed the terminal after downloading the script, you have to redo the cd command. And you just have to give the location of your Reshade script. The third and last comment will execute it. But I recommend doing before that 2 more comments. First off, reshade version equals something. I skipped this one as The Sims 2 doesn't care about the version. If you have to use older version, you just have to type in exactly what do you want, and remember you can't install the modded version that way. The next one, the most important one for me, is global ini equals 0. This part is to ensure you will have a separate settings file if you're playing with more than one game. Otherwise you would get one file for all of them, and it would mean like use the same preset for Cyberpunk and The Sims, for example, and it's something we don't want. If you are having just The Sims 2, you can skip this. This one runs the installer. You have to type I and press enter. If you are going the default way, the game would end up being in home/games. For Legacy Collection, the executive file is in ep9 tsbin. In the next choice, if you are having problems with Reshade, you should press N and enter. This script usually is very smart when it comes to that, but I've noticed that I was unable to get it to work with 2. The game is 32 bits. And here is the most tricky part. Usually you should go with D3D9 option. That's what the installer would choose. You'll usually get advised to get it as well, but for me going with that resulted in a reshade crash for Legacy Collection. What worked for me is choosing D3D11. When you're in Lutris, go to the configuration. Did you know that if you type in Lutris the name of the game and the correct release year, it will choose the right thumbnail for you? The third tab is the most important. I have disabled anti-cheats because The Sims 2 doesn't need it. You have to scroll down to see DLL overrides and write down the following, suggested by the terminal. D3D11 gets NB. If you are using RPC, you might need to add the remaining 2 as well. You can have fun in the 4th tab with enabling options if something goes wrong. For example, I recommend turning on the game mode. For me, it's not possible because of my distro choice. Another thing to do is to enter the wine tricks by either doing it from Lutris or from your menu. You have to pick the wine prefix your game uses, install DLL, and pick the 4 options D3D43, D3D47, .NET40 and .NET48. Agree to everything and don't worry about warnings. After that, we go to the installation folder and rename that file to d3d11.asi. It's not Windows, you don't have to confirm anything. It's just linked, but the original file is untouched. For Legacy Collection, you don't have to move it into the mods folder, as it works differently. The last thing you should do is to go and edit your reshade.ini file that's in the Sims 2 directory. As I'm having my Sims 3 reshade set up that way, I copied the line from that file to the Sims 2 config. Without it, the ADO won't work correctly. You can as well set this up in game, but I find it more annoying to do. Reshade crash in The Sims 2 I define as the game shutting down when trying to load a neighborhood or a family, and there's no the application has crashed. To show you that this works for me, I'm entering the Langerak household and make Iliana drink to our success. Another showcase. I set up the blurry background and it works as intended. This is my first proper guide in which I try to explain things as much as I can. I'm not that good of a teacher, but I hope I saved you trouble with setting up the reshade for the Legacy collection of The Sims 2. If I was able to help you, you can show me support in the form of a like, comment or subscription. If the quality of this guide is decent enough, you can expect a follow-up for The Sims 3. See you back again very soon, bye!